How to eat for maximum energy and focus. If you're a busy person, if you value your brain power, but you also want physical results in the gym, I'm gonna break that down for you today, tell you how I've done it. This is my physique. I also work quite a lot. I'm gonna unlock the code for you as to how to pair what you eat with the results you want and the life you wanna live. Seems sort of like Illuminati triangle-y. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, as you may know, a key part of building muscle and losing fat is gonna be your diet. What you eat. And you may have noticed, as a lot of people do, when you start eating more, multiple meals a day, it can kind of fuck with your energy and your focus and throws you off a little bit throughout a work day, right? And that's for good reason. Macronutrient-wise, when you eat carbohydrates, your body naturally starts to slow down, get sleepy, and get tired. That causes things like brain fog, makes you feel tired at work. That's why after lunch, there's typically like an afternoon slump, and that's when everyone has their second or third or fourth, you can't even see that, fourth coffee, purely because you get hit with the afternoon blues. You're tired, your brain's all lethargic. So here's how I'd structure a diet if mental clarity was number one and gym results were number two. Something that's consistent across all diets I prescribe is high protein. We still want to be hitting 2 grams per kilo of body weight every single day. That's going to make sure we're getting the most out of our gym sessions. Protein leads to protein muscle synthesis, which leads to muscle growth, right? So we still need a high amount of protein. We also need carbohydrate. I am not a big proponent of the keto diet. I've never done the keto diet. I've never recommended it. I think to eliminate an entire food group from your diet is extreme. Some people get great results with keto, but I am under the impression that your brain runs on glucose. But I think to switch to keto is too extreme a diet for most people, especially if you are a busy professional, you have a lot of work dinners. There often aren't keto options on diet. A bit more now, but back when I first started training, that was not really a thing. So I sort of ignored keto. Bottom line is this, I would start off in the morning doing a little bit of work fasted. All you've got is a black coffee in your system, you're fasted, you're pretty much zoned in. There's gonna be no food in your stomach fucking with your mental clarity. And in the morning, I like to do the bulk of my mentally intensive work. Once I'm awake, I've been awake for about an hour or so, that's when I crack into work. So my brain's at its most optimal, sharpest moment at that point. And it also matches my work style, right? Doing the hard shit first will pay off dividends in the long run, trust me. Rather than pushing it off to the end of the day, doesn't make sense. So we do some fasted work at the start of the day. That's when I'll break my fast with a high protein meal and some form of carbohydrates. I keep the carbs relatively light here. It's not a big, heavy carby meal, but there are some carbs to fill me up, give me energy. Not enough carbs that I get tired. For me, in terms of, if we were to take an arbitrary example like rice, that's about 100 grams of rice, not very much. After this, I'll typically have another coffee and go back to work. That coffee will overpower any kind of sleepiness that I get from the light serving of carbs I just had. I'll be able to power through right till lunch. Then around lunch, I'll have a bigger serving of carbohydrates and protein, obviously. Every meal has high protein, just assume that. So I have quite a big meal here. This is gonna be my pre-workout meal because I tend to work out at around 2 or 3 p.m. I then go and work out. After I work out, I have another big carbohydrate meal. This one with fast digesting carbs. So slow digesting carbs before the workout, fast digesting carbs after the workout. You'll notice I've structured the carbohydrates in my day to have my biggest carbohydrate meals around my workout. And that's for a reason, right? I use the carbs before the workout as fuel for the workout, and I use the fast digesting carbs after the workout to replenish me after the workout. So those are the only times you really need heavy doses of carbs. You're gonna feel a lot better working out having had carbs as well. So we have those 2 carby meals, and then in the evening, I'll have a lighter carby meal. At this point, it doesn't really matter if you get tired because the work's kind of finished. You're allowed to wind down, so you can have some carbs towards the end of the day. Bottom line is this, I structure my meals to enable me to have energy and focus throughout the day. And the way I do that is by limiting the carbohydrates when I really need mental clarity. So at the start of the day, when I have my hardest tasks, I have no food in my stomach, only coffee. When I'm working out and I don't really need mental clarity, but I do need muscle pumps and energy, I have heavy carbs. And then at nighttime, when I don't need focus anymore, I have heavy carbs again. They put me to sleep. That's the structure I follow. Now you know that carbohydrates are the reason you have mental clarity and a little bit of brain fog. You can sort of play with your carbs throughout the day. Anytime you have something big coming up that you need a lot of mental clarity for, dial the carbs back. If you're feeling sleepy at a certain time of day, look at the amount of carbs you're having around that time of day and play with it until you find a balance that works for you. If you want a specific example where I literally take you through a day of eating, what I'm working on, how the food's affecting me throughout the day, let me know. I can make a video like that. If not, that being said, if you got any value from this video, feel free to subscribe. I release videos like this all the time. I release videos like this more or less every day, and I'll see you in the next one.